Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Smith School of Business at Queen's University webinar for today, specifically for the full-time MBA program. My name is Jeff, and I'm the Associate Director of the program, and I'm delighted to be with you as we talk a little bit about our application and admissions processes, a little bit about our student experience, and specific to today, we're going to talk a little bit about specializations and the elective courses that you can take in the second half of your MBA year. Uh, on the hinges of the recent National Day of Reconciliation here in Canada, I'd like to acknowledge that Queen's University is situated on the territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples. We are humbled to live, play, work, and study on these lands, and we continue the spirit of reconciliation with the peoples that came before us. We acknowledge that we are visitors. Queen's University is also committed to an inclusive campus community with accessible goods, services, and facilities with respect the dignity and independence of persons with disabilities. As I've mentioned, my name's Jeff, and I'm the Associate Director with the Full-Time MBA program. I've been fortunate enough to have been with the Full-Time MBA for almost 12 years now. It's a role that I thoroughly enjoy, working with our amazing students from across Canada and around the world reach their academic, personal, and professional goals. The current class on campus, hard to believe they're winding down their MBA year, about 60 days left in the MBA experience as they take elective courses, apply for post-MBA careers and get some of those great interviews and offers that are coming through, working on individual projects, and of course, having fun with their growing network and friends in the MBA program as they plan for post-MBA life. My email address is on the screen, so if there are any questions that you think of after this webinar, feel free to send me a message and I'll be able to respond. For those of you that have registered for this but are not listening live, there will be a recording sent to your inbox shortly after the session. Some good news to begin the year. The Smith School of Business full-time MBA program continues to rank very highly in the prestigious global MBA rankings by the Financial Times. It is one of the best MBA rankings that you can find because it truly is a global scan of MBA programs from across Canada and around the world. We are in the top 100 programs in the world. We are also number one in Canada for the subcategories that you see on the screen. I'll start with the last one, Alumni Network. I was recently traveling across Canada, and in fact, I just arrived prior to this webinar from an alumni event in our nation's capital in Ottawa. I've been in Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver of late. I've seen it with my own eyes. The Alumni Network at Queen's and Smith specifically continue to be supportive of our students and applicants as they move through their version of their journey. Queens helps Queens, Smith helps Smith, and we've seen it over and over again, and fills me with great pride to witness that relationship build. Back to the first point, number one in career services. We've been number one in Canada for the last 5 years in a row. The Career Advancement Center at Smith School of Business continues to be a tremendous value add for our students. We are in a very competitive career landscape in Canada, certainly growing globally. I don't think I need to tell you that it's a competitive space to find good work post undergrad, post MBA. Having the Career Advancement Center in your court, in your corner, having a great coach to support all that comes with that is of great benefit to you. Number one in salary increase. So that's the salary that you're earning now versus the salary that you earn post MBA and the discrepancy between those 2 points. And finally, Smith continues to be number one in return on investment. We acknowledge that this is a significant investment of time, energy, and money. Probably one of the most, the biggest expense that you'll have in your life, perhaps, other than purchasing a home. Doing an MBA is all of those things: time, energy, and money. Being ranked number one in ROI helps you know that you're maximizing those opportunity costs as you navigate your experience next year. To be clear, the full-time MBA program is based in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, on the campus of Queen's University. In the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see me there in the red hood with some of our amazing MBA alumni on their graduation day, celebrating the pinnacle experience as they cross the stage and receive their degree. Kingston, Ontario is truly known as a university town. You can feel Queen's University everywhere when you're in Kingston. Queen's students are very much a part of the local fabric. I also had the pleasure of working in that building in the middle of the screen, Kingston City Hall, where I was the staff member to the mayor of two mayors actually of the city of Kingston earlier in my career, and I could see with my own two eyes the power of the town-gown relationship between Kingston and Queens. I know that you'll feel very comfortable very quickly. It's a very safe community. Most of our students live within a 10-15 minute walk of campus or a short bus ride. So there's lots to look forward to as you approach back to campus life. And that yellow arrow is where Goods Hall, the home of the Smith School of Business and the MBA program on our main campus. The broader photo is the Queen's University main campus located in downtown Kingston. The historic downtown is just to the upper right of campus. Again, about a 15-minute walk from the main university campus. It is idyllic. It looks like a movie set at times. It's gorgeous limestone buildings that have been in Kingston for generations. Very much a part of the Kingston fabric, as I mentioned. There are modern amenities that university students are looking for, welcoming libraries, student centers, recreational facilities, lots of ways for you to enjoy life beyond the classroom on our main campus in our downtown. So today we're going to discuss the modern methodology in which the MBA program is delivered, where we pull together technical expertise and really doubling down on those interpersonal skills that are critical to post-MBA career success. And this is how we do it. We have a theater of 80 seats, so a little more of an intimate setting than perhaps a larger university program that you might be used to with several hundred students in a large theater. We believe that smaller is better in this regard, that you're going to know the other members of the class by name. They're going to become your colleagues and hopefully your friends for life. Classroom instruction and discussion with a faculty member at the front of the room delivering a lecture in a specific subject matter. Great way for you to make this your home away from home during your MBA experience. Question I often get is, do we use case-based methodology as a part of our MBA? Absolutely, we do. We have plenty of case content interwoven into our academic courses. We have living case studies that are, again, used by faculty as a learning tool. Simulations, this is actually applying what you're learning. I can think of the negotiations course where you're actually playing a role within a business simulated negotiation against a real opponent for a real outcome. So you can actually push away from a lecture in a textbook and actually try that out and to see how your skills are developing. There are plenty of real world business projects, both individual and team-based, where you can work with a client on a problem, challenge, or opportunity that they're facing. You have an advisor that works with you on the individual project, someone that's going to give you feedback in real time on how you're progressing. And again, applying what you're learning from the classroom back to something real in a project format. And finally, experiential learning, learning by doing. This is a great way for you to explore things like club activity, different workshops, webinars, events, conferences that you can attend. Again, expanding on what you're learning in the classroom. So it's not just one format, several different ways for you to combine that technical expertise and interpersonal skills that makes our program so special. Talk a little bit about the specializations that you can earn in the MBA program. On the broader scope, a student in the MBA program will earn 21 academic units earned during those elective courses. And to specialize, you would complete 12 of those 21 in a specific area. And here they are: consulting, digital business, entrepreneurship and innovation, finance, management analytics, marketing, and sales. So to be clear, you can undertake a specialized degree in the second half of your MBA experience if you wish. This is completely up to the student, and the opportunities are there for you to have discussions with your academic advisor, your alumni that you might interact with. Faculty are very helpful, and of course the staff, to be able to select which specializations are right for you and when you might select that. I want to speak specifically to digital business, entrepreneurship, finance, and management analytics. We have tremendous relationships with other programs at Smith within those spaces. There are a Master of Management in Artificial Intelligence. There is a Master of Management in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. There's a Master of Finance. There's a Master of Management in Analytics. Lots of great ways for you to take elective courses in those programs and apply them back to your MBA experience. And again, we can go into much greater detail on that when you join the program. Further news within that specific space is there are descriptions of each of the current course selections on the MBA website. So I would direct you there to do a deeper dive into what courses might be available and which ones you might eventually choose. There are subtle changes to course offerings annually. I get questions a lot about artificial intelligence and how is that impacting Smith School of Business and our course delivery. We just added, pardon me, a course in AI for leaders in partnership with our accelerated MBA program. So a great way for you to mix with students from another great MBA offering at Smith. Every year, there are increased customization elective course selections. The smorgasbord of academic content that you can take is not specifically confined to the MBA experience. You can do them in the accelerated MBA. You can do them in the MMA, the MFin, the MMAI program, the MFit program. Lots of different ways for you to customize that. You also don't have to specialize if you choose not to. You could take a more of a general approach, and what that means is in the spring, usually in May and June, when I meet with the students on their elective course selections, they could dabble and take a marketing course or a consulting course or a finance course or a digital business course. You can weave that together. You're not necessarily narrowing the funnel, so to speak. You're taking a more of a general approach and customizing it around your general interests, which is perfectly fine. Something to keep in mind. Another point I wanted to point out is you don't have to know now. Some students enter the program in January and there's a pretty deliberate straight line. I want to specialize in finance because I'd like to work in finance after the program. I envision myself working for a bank on Bay Street. This is important to me, and it's a pretty straight line. What I've seen over the last dozen years or so working with MBA students is a lot of them take a bit of a scenic route, so to speak, as to the direction they head, and they sometimes change their mind, which is totally fine. It's allowed, and we encourage those discussions as your year in 2026 unfolds. Keep that open mind. Your plans can change, your career points can change, the momentum towards what comes next after the MBA can change. I've seen students, midway through their MBA say, I'd like to add that Master of Finance dual degree after the program. So which elective courses can I select to give me the specialization as well as to build the bridge towards that next great Smith program at a discounted rate? Because if you take courses in both programs, your financial footprint in the second program is lightened by the number of courses that are done in both programs. So that's something else to keep in mind. And certainly your application advisor can assist you with a plan that is specific to what you'd like to achieve. Something else that certainly separates us from other programs in the landscape is our team-based learning approach. The photo there is a current team in the full-time MBA program. As you can see from their faces, very diverse teams culturally, academically, professionally, across gender lines. The person opposite you in the team room is nothing like you in a lot of different ways, and we do that deliberately so that You can collaborate with one another, support each other's learning journey, support each other socially as well. Undertaking an MBA in a collaborative environment is definitely something that's more harmonious and something that brings our MBA students towards their desired goals. And there's a shared accomplishment that comes with that. And as you can see from the bullet points as well, it also mirrors today's progressive workplace. When you go to work at your desired organization, chances are there's going to be people opposite you that do different things, that operate different functions. They come from different countries. They share different working styles. This program allows you to get some effective training as to what comes next in the MBA experience and certainly in life. I was just this morning speaking with an alumni that was raving about the training and experience that she got in the MBA program and being able to apply that back to her real life and the situations that were simulated through her MBA year on campus. It truly does develop those team and leadership skills that are recognized by employers across Canada and around the world. So there is a recent full-time MBA class, and as you can see, 80 students in an average MBA experience, and they certainly do become friends and colleagues and part of your network for life. The question I often get when I go to fairs and events and webinars is, what are some of the things that you can do beyond the classroom? And this slide is a very high-level overview on some of the things that you can do. A lot of students come into the program wanting to be leaders with a title. The student government or student executive council, as we call it, is a great way to experience that, where you're elected by your peers to represent your school and program through the MBA year. Lots of great clubs for you to join that are often related to the specializations or a specific industry of choice. In the past, we've had healthcare clubs, we've had real estate clubs, we've had sports and entertainment clubs. We have a very popular Women in Leadership Club and a summit event that we do every year. We have an entrepreneurial focused event that just completed a couple of weeks ago called the Scale Up Summit, run by students working with entrepreneurs in the GTA and across Canada to scale up their businesses effectively. That was a great partnership with our MMIE program. Case competitions are very popular in MBA pursuits. We do them both internal as a part of our program experience and, of course, participate externally as well. One of our student groups this year created a national case competition that will be delivered the first day of November later this year. Hard to believe it's less than a month away. They're really excited about collaborating and competing against other business schools and other programs across Canada and unpacking business challenges that impact us all in this ever-changing environment. Career search and networking, without a doubt, finding that next great job is a critical part of why you're undertaking an MBA. Very few MBA students return to their previous job after that experience. They want to build and to go on to something extra, something different, perhaps changing companies or changing industries. I talked about it off the top. The relationship with the Career Advancement Center and your coach will only benefit that, and it will grow throughout your MBA year. Networking is ongoing. I get questions a lot about how often do we get to interact with corporate partners, recruiters, alumni. We spend a lot of time in Toronto for our trips and treks that we do during the MBA year. And of course, many come back to campus as well with homecoming on the horizon. About a week and a half from now, our MBA students are delighted to be able to reconnect or connect with alumni from the recent past and even some that have been away for decades that are always wanting to have those connections with current students and potentially consider them for future jobs. So it's a skill that serves you quite well. Industry-specific training could be in consulting or finance or product management. We have lots of different ways for you to achieve that above and beyond what you would get in the MBA program. We work with great companies and banks. Our experts and residents here at Smith School of Business are often leading those instructions, or we get external consultants to come in to have those amazing training sessions to be able to ramp you up towards post-MBA life. One of my favorite plums of the MBA program is our relationship with Fit to Lead, which is a way for you to add an element of individual or team physical fitness, uh, proper nutrition, health and wellness. You can add that to your busy agenda if you want to join the run club, if you'd like to play intramural soccer, if you'd like to play racket sports or go kayaking. Just last week, our students went up north of Kingston about an hour and had a beautiful fall canoe day out in the wilderness in the spirit of National Reconciliation Day and that indigenous mode of transportation. Great way for you to add a bit of health and wellness to your routine, and certainly a lot of students take advantage of that. Community engagement, as I mentioned, we are a part of the Kingston community, and oftentimes MBA students will give back to the community in big and small ways. We have a Smith Cares Club whereby a group of volunteers will contribute to the environment in Kingston, our homelessness community in Kingston, giving back to them, and volunteering in not-for-profits right across the region. So it's always does my heart a lot of good to see our students giving back to their student home. And of course, how do I possibly do this, Geoff? Academics, career search, uh, extracurricular activity, fun with friends, and maintain my life. Well, quite frankly, balance is key. Time management is key. And we give you all of those tools to be able to balance life, work, and study during your MBA year. So you're probably thinking, how do we measure the ideal candidate? And this is a little peek behind the curtain with our admissions committee. The four buckets or four categories, as I call it. Top left-hand corner, of course, you have to be smart. We look at your intellectual horsepower. We will look at your undergraduate degree, your GPA, your GMAT or GRE score. Perhaps you've won some awards in undergrad. Perhaps you were a leader in an undergraduate program. Great way for you to define that category there. Going clockwise, work ethic and resiliency. So this is defined through your work experience, post-undergrad. 2 years is our minimum, 4 or 5 is our average, depending on the year, and 8 or 9 is a soft ceiling for us in terms of what an average MBA student's professional footprint would look like. We look at your references from your boss and a professional colleague that can speak to your effectiveness on the job, your ability to work effectively in teams, your trajectory going up. Have you been promoted? Are you client facing? Are you creating opportunities and efficiencies at work that might benefit the MBA program and certainly future careers as well? Hopefully you can tell those stories within that professional bucket. Coachability and team. Of course, we are a team-based MBA, so it'd be a good fit that if you enjoy things that are collaborative experiences, things like sports, music, theater, community service, volunteer work, if you enjoy those types of activities, then this is a great way to build on that. We have a partnership with the Canadian Olympic Committee, Olympic athletes that have competed at the highest level of amateur sport through much of their 20s. They're looking to come back and to upgrade their life through an MBA experience. Who better than to have a Olympic athlete on your team as someone to collaborate with? Coachability, that's certainly giving and receiving feedback, going through that experience of self-development and enjoying the process of getting better and building upon the young professional that you are and the trajectory that you're heading in, looking to become better within those categories. Um, these are something that not only your coach will look for in the Career Advancement Center, but also your future boss will want to make sure that you've got that diligence, that work ethic, the ability to coach and be coached, to not make the same mistake twice. You'll see a lot of that. And again, we can begin to shape that professional that you're becoming. Finally, probably my favorite, emotional intelligence, interpersonal skills, sometimes called soft skills. I disagree with that name. I prefer durable skills because they truly are durable and they can follow you from job to job, role to role, relationship to relationship. And I think in this age of heightened technology, heightened AI, we really need to double down on the ability to work well with others. Those interpersonal skills are better than ever before. We need them in our workplaces now. in hybrid environments, in fully remote environments. If you don't have that EQ and interpersonal skills, you will be left behind. So if you have those strengths already, enhance them, talk about them, demonstrate them through this process. So to sum up, if you can show competence and strength in each of these categories, you're going to get into the program, you're going to do well in the program, and you're going to get a great job after the program because we built this model based on what global employers are looking for. And certainly our data shares that, which we'll go to our next slide, which is focused specifically on the return on investment for the class of 2024. The class of 2025, the class that graduated just a couple of months ago in the spring, their employment report will be out soon. It will be posted on our website. As soon as it's available, you'll be able to refer to that. Some stats here that are, again, #1 in Canada from the Career Advancement Center. A great number of job acquisition, a strong average base salary and bonus structure, and of course, all of the different events, job postings that you can undertake during an MBA year. You're not going to be bored. You're not going to be left in the cold with respect to who you are and what you are going to undertake. We don't pigeonhole you. I know I get questions a lot about, are you the consulting MBA? Are you the finance MBA? Are you the entrepreneurship MBA? We have success in all categories, and your coach in the Career Advancement Center will point you in that direction towards career success. I've been traveling a lot in the last month or so and touched a lot of these domestic markets and had great conversations with our alumni. Of course, Toronto, or the GTA as we call it, the Greater Toronto Area, has become and consistently the best landing spot for post-MBA careers. It's certainly the hub for commerce and industry in Canada, so it would make sense that a lot of our students will end up there. However, if you're drawn to the East Coast, to the West Coast, to the United States or other countries, again, work with your Career Advancement Center coach on a trajectory that is specific to you. Every year, every student is slightly different from their neighbor. So again, it would make sense. A lot of our domestic students and international students want to remain in Canada post-MBA. However, if life or preference takes you elsewhere, we have a plan that is going to help you realize that. So it is an all-inclusive fee for the full-time MBA program. There's our domestic and international rates. All-inclusive means that all of your tuition for your academic year, all of your books, all of your cases and learning materials are delivered right to your team room door, which is yours for 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's your space to use for the year. Exclusive MBA Resource Center, the Career Advancement Center, executive coaching that you can undertake, activity throughout the campus. Again, you have green card access to be able to come and go as you please. Case competitions, I've talked a bit about that. If you want to go on a case competition beyond Kingston, the program does carry a budget to allow you to compete. Your registration, your travel, and your accommodations while you're competing and representing the program is covered. Finally, we travel a lot to Toronto specifically, but also to other locations. When the program takes you to a program-sponsored event, we cover that cost. Finally, we are one of the rare programs that I'm aware of that does not charge an application fee. We also don't have an application deadline per se. We recruit 12 months of the year. We interview 11 months of the year. We don't do a lot in January, obviously, because we're focused on the incoming cohort. But we believe that if you are serious in doing this, you are committed to doing this, and you will, pay your deposit once you enroll. We don't take a dollar from you as an applicant until that point is reached. So keep that in mind as you're considering other programs in the marketplace. Cost of living in Kingston, again, this varies year to year. This varies in terms of your personal budget and your living requirements and your standard. Some people will want to live on their own in a modern one-bedroom apartment. Some may want to live in a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Some may want to live in a group in a home within that 10 to 15-minute walk of campus. There are plenty of postings on our internal Teams channel. So if you want to explore opportunities that are endorsed by MBA students and our staff, we'd be happy to connect you. Once you enroll in the program, you will not be alone in securing your MBA student home for the year. And again, based on your preferences, we can help you secure that. So there's a photo of our two amazing application advisors, Terry Lynn and Beth. They are certainly experts with respect to the full-time MBA program. They are on your side. They want you to succeed. They want you to go to the admissions committee and get the result that you're looking for. They will help you with a preliminary assessment with what they see in your profile and how that relates to the full-time experience. They will guide you through the process. Couple of weeks if you need it, a couple of months if you have more time or require more of an on-ramp. They will help you present that case to the admissions committee and give you tips and tricks as to how to be better. On the left side of the slide, we do look at your academic background, that bachelor's degree or equivalent, B+ average in the last 2 years are highlighted. Work experience, as I've mentioned, 2-year minimum, 3 to 5 year average, and a 8 or 9 on the soft ceiling in terms of the work experience range. GMAT is still very much a part of the MBA application admissions process at Smith School of Business. Oftentimes I get asked, what is the lowest score you will accept? We don't really have one, to be honest, because we do take a holistic approach to our application process. But if you're looking for one, I know GMAC with a C has simplified their test over the last couple of years, and 565 with the GMAT Focus is a good target, or a 600 within the original test version. We also accept the GRE at equal value. We don't have a preference. So if you prefer the GRE over the GMAT, we will accept that as well. English language proficiency is applicable only if the medium of instruction of post-secondary education was not in English. So keep that in mind. We will look at a TOEFL or an IELTS score as a part of that process. So how to build that application file. Beth or Terry Lynn will work with you on your specific arc towards the end of the final months of our recruitment efforts for the January 2026 start. We'll need to see your resume, update that for us with all of your professional and academic achievements. We will need to see those official transcripts from your undergraduate experience. They can be sent directly to Beth or Terry Lynn. A cover letter. And speaking on behalf of people that read cover letters for a living, you do not have to regurgitate your resume. Here's a sample of what you could do in a cover letter. 1 page, 3 paragraphs, briefly introduce yourself. Why are you undertaking an MBA and why specifically the Smith experience? And what are your post-MBA career goals? Keep it simple. 3 paragraphs, 1 page is perfect. 2 professional references. We'd love to hear from your boss at work and someone that you work closely with, a colleague that can speak to your effectiveness on the job. Could be a major client or a partner at a firm, somebody that's going to say nice things about you, obviously. That GMAT or GRE official report can be sent directly to Terry Lynn or Beth. We got rid of the written essay a few years ago. We've gone to a Kira video format, which has 3 video questions and a written response. It takes about 15 minutes of your time as opposed to, several hours or days to write an essay. Don't overthink this, folks. The questions are picked at random. You have a couple of moments to consider your answer. The light turns green and your answer is sent directly to our admissions committee as a part of your assessment. There's no right or wrong answers and you can't study. So 99% of our applicants do just fine by being their authentic self and to relax and to enjoy the process of answering a question within that format. The English language proficiency test, as I've mentioned, is only applicable if your post-secondary education was not in English. And finally, once all of these items are are completed, you are offered an opportunity to do an interview with a member of the admissions committee, either in person in Kingston or through Zoom. So lots of great ways for you to interact with us. And if you live within a reasonable distance of Kingston, I highly recommend having that experience here in the community and to sample campus life as a part of your interview process during that day. So Beth and Terry Lynn can help you if that's something that you'd like to take advantage of. So next steps, as we are already in the final quarter of the year and we're moving towards the final couple of months of our recruitment activity for the 2025 calendar year. Once you introduce yourself to Beth and Terry Lynn, which you can do through the website, I'll show you that in a moment. Submit your resume and unofficial transcripts for that preliminary assessment. Continue to monitor our website. We've got lots of great events coming up live in Toronto and in Kingston. We had our fall showcase last weekend, which was a tremendous success. We had about 50 students sampling the full-time MBA program at Goods Hall, which was amazing to see. Lots of great online content as well if you'd like to keep your thumb on the pulse of life at Smith School of Business from afar. Highly recommend going to our website and asking for a virtual coffee chat with our student ambassadors. If you drop down that window, there's a great number of current students that really enjoy talking about their year in Kingston, the experiences they've had, and they want to give you back those experiences to be able to make an informed choice for what comes next for you, your life, and your career. And as I've mentioned, my email address was on the earlier slide. Feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to have a follow-up conversation. Virtual coffee chats and the like are the common experience right now, and we're happy to engage. So what are you waiting for? There's our website, smithqueens.com/MBA. You can select the full-time MBA program there, click on introduce yourself, fill out that form, and Terry Lynn or Beth will reach out to you right away if it's something that you would like to explore. Some of you might be thinking right now, are there positions left in January? Of course we do. Yes, we have scholarship still available for our merit-based candidates. Always exciting news coming out of an admissions committee meeting with the great applicants that are completing their files from across Canada and around the world. Come and be a part of the Smith experience, the Smith family, and we'd be delighted to work with you in 2026. And of course, last point, be sure to follow us on the different social media channels. Lots of great content that's constantly shared there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and go back to the main screen. I know this is middle of the afternoon for a lot of our domestic listeners from Ontario specifically. Perhaps there's some questions. I'm just going to look now in the chat to see if there's anything there. Anonymous listener has put this in the chat. I'm looking to apply for the full-time fall 2026 intake. Quick clarification there. We do not offer a fall intake. We have a January intake every year. Starts in January, ends in December. I just wanted to point that out in case that was something that is specific to what you'd like to do and if January is out of the question. There's some academic snapshot here, which I'm not going to repeat just for the privacy of that individual. Does my 3-year undergraduate degree meet your MBA eligibility requirements, or is there a prerequisite course I should take? Also, can I apply without a GMAT score? So I'll answer the first question first. You can, depending on the content of your undergraduate degree, you can work with your application advisor based on the academic content there, the GPA footprint that you've earned during that experience. If you are missing that 4th year of your degree, I would absolutely suggest that you write the GMAT or GRE to augment your academic profile within that first category. That protects you as the applicant and future student. It also protects the accredited MBA program that would consider accepting you as a future student. So keep that in mind. as you move forward. Your application advisor is your best friend with regard to the specifics of the information that you've shared here. Next question up, please. I hope you offer a supply chain operations and logistics course. We absolutely do. Operations and supply chain management is one of our core subjects. It's delivered every year in May and June, usually during the full-time MBA experience. The professor that teaches that course has tremendous industry and theoretical experience within the structure of operations. He brings in impressive professionals, often alumni that work within that industry. There's tremendous case content that he will deliver and often preps students for those case competitions that they'll engage in um, uh, throughout their experience. So to answer your question plainly, yes, we do have a course that fits that description. Is the MBA eligible for the postgraduate work permit? It absolutely is. Um, Again, the application advisor, depending on how long you would like to stay in Canada, immigration standards are changing constantly in Canada. The last 2 years have been quite the whirlwind for our amazing international applicants and students. And I say this with all due respect to allow our international applicants and future students to have the greatest success. Give yourself plenty of time for not only the application to the MBA, but the application for the study permit to be able to study in Canada, and as you mentioned, the postgraduate work permit that comes after the program. What normally happens is an international student who wants to stay in Canada at the end of the program experience before graduation, I will provide a completion letter. This confirms that you have completed all academic content of your degree, your fees have been paid, and you can use that document to apply for the PGWP. Um, I've been with the program for 12 years. I can't recall a time when a student, an international student, wasn't approved for that. And it's something to keep in mind. Again, it speaks to the strength of our program and the strength of our brand nationally that you would be able to do that quite quickly. It takes about, from my experience, 30 to 45 days, depending on the time of year when someone applies. But again, high probability you're going to get what you're looking for there. Another anonymous question here. I'd like to ask if I could apply without a GMAT or GRE. I'm a graduate of law and I just finished my 1 year law school where I obtained my barrister at law qualification. Founded my own business some years ago, which I still run today. Um, Again, we take each candidate as a holistic approach. I would have that discussion, this anonymous person that's put the question in, I would have that question with your application advisor to take a full scope of your profile. That would definitely help you get the best strategy for going forward. I would absolutely do that to be able to get that information specific to who you are and where you're going. I want to speak a few moments here about the GMAT. And again, I've had a couple of questions here in the chat. I get them quite a bit on the road at fairs and with applicants. The GMAT, a lot of business schools got away from using the GMAT during the pandemic. Of course, a lot of schools and programs were looking to put as many students into their programs that they could, and they were oversimplifying the processes at times. And I'll be frank that the quality of the cohorts were impacted by removing that important filter, that important variable in which accredited business schools consider future students. The GMAT is a tool to assess quantitative and qualitative skill. Of course, it's a standardized test, but it does protect you as the student, knowing that you are being assessed fairly with other candidates for the program that you're targeting. It also benefits you in post-MBA life if you're applying for careers in highly competitive spaces like management consulting or investment banking. Having a strong GMAT or GRE can benefit you within those pursuits. It's also important for those of you that are thinking about merit-based scholarships. Having a GMAT or a GRE is a part of our scholarship rubric. So I'll make it plain. Let's pretend I have an application file, one in each hand, and they're identical in every way except this one has an average or above average GMAT. This one has a low GMAT or no GMAT. This one will get a merit-based scholarship and this one won't. That's a very private process. This is not broadcast anywhere that, student X got this amount of money and student Y got this amount of money or no money. About 70% of our students receive some form of merit-based scholarship, which means 30% are granted admission without a scholarship. So if you're thinking right now, here in, what day is it today? The 7th of October, that you're thinking about January and you're pulling together all those pieces for your application, and the GMAT is sitting there as something that you'd like to do or not do, perhaps simplify your life. My advice to you would be have that discussion with your application advisor. Talk about the benefit of the GMAT or GRE to your own profile and your post MBA career goals. They can give you some very frank advice as to why that would be important to you, or maybe not. If you wish to apply for a GMAT or GRE waiver, again, you could submit that through your application advisor, and that will be taken to the admissions committee, and they're considered on a case-by-case basis. But again, to be blunt, the couple $100 it might cost to write the standardized test could be worth tens of thousands of dollars in an upgraded merit-based scholarship if you score well. So again, a bit of advice as we wind down here. So that was a fast, and I see one question here. Unfortunately, we are going to have to wind down as I've run over time. Is there an opportunity for an internship during the program? There are internships available. Most of those students will self-seek those opportunities, but again, they're very rare. Most of our students move into that post-MBA career path without the aid of an internship. So let that be our final question today. And thank you very much for all of the questions that were submitted through the chat. Continue to have those connections with me through the email address that I've left. Terry Lynn and Beth are very, very helpful and quite responsive to applicant inquiries. It's a critical one for you as you move forward with this, with the significant investment of your time, energy, and money as you move head into 2026. So thank you very much once again for your interest in the program. I hope this webinar provided lots of helpful information with regard to our student experience, our academic footprint, our rankings that are top in Canada and top 100 around the world, our robust alumni network, our supportive staff, of which I am a part of and lead. This is a significant opportunity for you to take that next step in your professional and academic career, and a full-time MBA experience at Smith School of Business at Queen's is a great way for you to earn that. So on behalf of our team, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing your application come forward. Bye for now.